rocking and rolling through 3. How's the exit of 4? Hits on 5 on the take-on. So they're going to lose a little bit of ground here. World Cup debut in February last season was in Sigulda. World Cup best in Altenberg. 14th place. His best ever World Cup result is a 12th place finished. Second best speed, so losing speed compared to Liechtenstein. And it's not a tidy run. 2200s up, but they were 3300s up. And not going to be far in front at the line, 56.08. So Martin Krantz had a better drive. Popular Tour there watching. Coach of the US, by the way, not of the Czech Republic. Just watching from the leader's box. Well, that was a little bit of a rocky first trip down for Matej Behonek. Here's a classic example. Out of Tudai, turn 9, clatters the wall, can't keep it off it, doesn't come back straight. Just about gets onto the Kreisel correctly, holds that first pressure, allows it to rise in the second. It's all about the exit here. That's what he was looking for. But a bit of a rocky ride. Next up, first of 2 debutantes, and both of them for Romania. Driver Andrei Turia, 26, and 21-year-old brakeman Rares Ginca making his World Cup debut as well. The brakeman only started in November 2022, has done 10 two-man races, was not expecting to be in the sled today. Konstantin Dobre was pulled out at the last minute with an injury. And the driver started in November 2022. He's had a dozen two-man races in Europe Cup and the Junior Worlds. So Romania with a 3-sled lineup here. Fantastic ambition from this small national federation. Bringing on young drivers. I mean, Mihai Tentea's hardly long in the tooth. Bringing on young drivers is excellent. This is a really nice looking run as well. 2 tenths behind, but he started 5:43 compared to 37 of Behonek, and he's closing down the Czech Republic sled. Out of 14, long skid to 15, so easily done. And that is going to open the margin right up. A tenth at the line, 56.18. Well, as a debut, got to say that was a great drive. Shaking his head there because that exit of 14 and the big skid up to 15 will not only have really got his attention, but also just annoyed him. He could have been ahead of Matej Behonek. Gets that looping touch from 4 to 5. This is 14 going over the brow. The sled gets light there. And so any sideways moment is greatly exaggerated. Well, from 3 relatively inexperienced crews to one of our World Cup stalwarts over the last couple of seasons, Li Chunjian of China, 23rd World Cup two-man race for him, but a debut for his pitman. Shi Yaolong is just 18 and has not had any official races until today. Talk about going in at the deep end, 5:30 getaway. Well, oh, yeah, 2 to 3 makes a touch. Corner 4, not too bad. 5 into 6, and then through the upper labyrinth. Then corner 9, named after Harold Tudai. Out he comes, pretty straight. Gets it over on line for the Kreisel. Best speed into the Kreisel for Li Chunjian. Decent exit as well there. 4,500 up, but a little rattly further down. 14 is the key to speed to the line. 6 tenths up. Should be 8 tenths in front at this stage. 7 tenths. 55.39 downtime for Li Chunjian. Best result here, 7th place. was in January 2023. He was only 12th in last year's race in February 24. Again, little late height there, just throwing him into the wall, out of 9. Gets sideways down the straight. For the USA now, Frank Del Duca with debutant brakeman Dylan Gilbert. So Gilbert just 27, and like Shi Yaolong in the Chinese sled, this is his first official race. So another big recruitment drive by the US bobsleigh and skeleton team. Again, had a bunch of new push athletes come through and really hit some big numbers, getting them straight in the sled. No America's Cup warm-ups, no Europe Cup warm-ups, a couple of weeks of training here in Altenberg, and boom, Dylan Gilbert straight into the sled. Now, Frank Del Duca has got good hands. It's only his 13th World Cup start as a driver. He's already proved in the last season and a half that he can be right in amongst the front runners. He was 8th here in February. Now, he will want to be ahead of Lee Chun-jan, but at the moment, struggling to keep the sled neat and tidy. Across the line, 3400s back, 55.73. So 5:34 getaway, and I'm sure that they're probably going to be a bit quicker in the second start. No matter what he's done before, I'm sure Dylan Gilbert will be feeling a little bit of nerves for that first push. Exit of 9. Bring it pretty straight down to the Kreisel, but then the nose just sort of meanders away from the ideal line, so that first pressure is higher perhaps than he would have liked, and a little bit later on means a little bit later off as well. Lee Chun-jan, the leader, as we get to a landmark, the 100th two-man World Cup start for Francesco Friedrich, with 2 meters 2, 6 foot 8, 106 kilo Simon Wolf behind him. What is he, a heptathlete, a decathlete, a long jumper? No, he's a 100-meter sprinter, and it is a new start record. Wow, 5:07 start record, and Friedrich on home ice with brand new legs behind him, already half a second up. Now he is the first of the real big guns. Decent run down into the Kreisel, best speed so far, 2 kilometers an hour quicker than anybody else. Silver medalist in the race here in February. Francesco hasn't won here for 4 races. Last time was in 21-22 season, but he's gonna win today, I think. 54.28. That's only 1700ths off the all-time record. I beg your pardon, 2800ths off the all-time record that he set, winning the World Championships here in 2020. So Simon Wolf, the 3rd fastest 100-meter sprinter ever in German history, and he makes Francesco Friedrich look like he's 5'4". 2 meters 2, 6 foot 8, 106 kilos. How can that much man move so fast? He's a 10.08 100-meter sprinter, and on his first ever official race, he is a start record holder. Wow. Talk about a good signing. So next up, Austrian Marcus Treichel, with Diane Nichols-Bardi behind him, the 23-year-old brakeman in his 4th two-man World Cup start, his 57th two-man race for Marcus Treichel. 5:33. Don't expect them to be giving Francesco Friedrich a lot to worry about. come that form and with that start, sort of wonder who is going to give Friedrich something to worry about. Well, maybe Altenberg, the winner here in February. Maybe Hansi Lochner, who won the 2 races here in 2023 and might have won in February if he'd raced. Well, nice looking smooth lines from Marcus Treichel. Second highest speed. Marcus finished 7th in a race here in February. He has had a top 5 finish here a couple of years ago. That's January 2023. 55.30. On 0.02 seconds behind Francesco Friedrich. Still leaves him in second. That probably won't last for an awful long time. But it does show the vault ahead that Friedrich has made. Well, not a bad run, down from 9 into 10. Got it online for the Kreisel. Caught the double hat as well. So Altenberg with his brother Issam behind him now. The duo here, silver medalists in the World Championships in Winterberg, but Adam with Lawrence Cosner behind him as the brakeman here in February won his first World Cup gold medal here. 5:16, only 11 hundredths, 9 hundredths, I beg your pardon, slower than Francesco Friedrich. And this pair make a formidable starting duo. Brakeman Issam is the older of the two at 29. Adam now 23 years old. 2 wins and 3 bronze medals in his 8 World Cup races in 2-man to date. Second best speed, 1/3 of a second behind at the Kreisel. This is going to be the second best run. Little late flop. Out of 14, just fringes the wall. Nice run from Altenberg, half a second back, 54.83.
Second place currently.
It is very easy to imagine a German top 3 here. Silver medalists from the races in January 23 were Brad Hall and Mickey Vogt. Mickey Vogt won't be racing today, Brad Hall will. In 2023, Francesco Friedrich took a couple of bronzes behind Vogt and Hall, and Hansi Lochner, the winner in both races. Friedrich and Torsten Margis were silver medalists here in February, but with a very handy lead. Now, Patrick Baumgartner, January 23, finished 8th place in one of the 2 races here. It's his best on this track. 4th place finish in Beijing. It is World Cup best. Robert Messier behind him. 15th 2-man World Cup start for Robert. All of them with Baumgartner. 5:35 getaway. Only a couple of hundreds behind Marcus Treichel, and that's where he will be aiming. And of course, the Italians very firmly focused, even more firmly than anybody else perhaps, on Milano Cortina 2026. And the track is now looking like it is coming together pretty fast. Not bad, just avoided the wall out of 9. 4th best speed into the Kreisel. 6th fastest start. He's driven himself into 5th in the splits. That will be ahead of Frank Del Duca, looking to run down Li Chun-Jan for 4th place. It's to be within 1.1 seconds of the lead, and he's not. He's 100th behind the Chinese sled. 55.40. So Li Chun-Jan 1.11 behind. Patrick Baumgartner 1.12 behind. They are a 10th off 3rd at the moment, which is Marcus Treichel. Now, it looks, I would think, as though, although that's a very wavy 4, as though that might be a top 10 run by the end of the heat. We'll have to wait and see. Nice new livery on the Italian sleds. Lots of sponsors starting to come on board with the build-up to the Winter Games. Everybody wants to be involved in a home games. For Korea, Kim Jin-soo, bronze medalist here with his bigman Kim Hyung-gyun. So they took the bronze here in February. His only World Cup medal in 2-man so far. 5:21 getaway, that's a rocking start. Now, how much can he challenge? Only 500ths off Adam and Issam Amour at the start. Kim Jin-soo and Kim Hyung-gyun. Little rattle in a labyrinth. What's the gap looking like? Gone from 14 to 3800s to 4900s. Okay, so he is behind the Germans, but ahead of Markus Treichel at the moment. Only the 4th best speed, though. Only the 5th best speed. Losing ground. Little rattly out of 14. How close will he be at the line? 3rd or 4th? 3rd. 55.15. He's 1500s ahead of Markus Treichel.
Kim from Korea, dritter Rang, also im Moment für das koreanische Team Kim und Kim.
1500s ahead in 3rd place of Markus Treichel, 4th. And then Lee Chun-jan 5th and Patrick Baumgartner 6th, all within a 10th of Treichel. So 1/4 of a second covers 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th at the moment. That could have been tidier. Ooh. He's taken a bit of a hit there, hasn't he? I wonder if that was something that he pulled getting in. And that was Kim Jin-soo, the driver. So he is 3rd at the moment. Might need a bit of physio before the second run. 10 sleds down. First race of the IBSF 2-man bobsleigh World Cup. We're in Altenberg, Germany. Sled number 11 of 33, Romania's second sled in the field, Mihai Tentea and Georg Jordash. Mihai still only 25. This is his 31st 2-man World Cup start. He struggled through seasons with lots of injury where he's had to sit in for half the race starts. Georg Jordash, only his 3rd 2-man race in the World Cup. He's got 7 4-man World Cup races as well. Nice looking lines, as ever, from Mihai Tentea. The Romanians have good kits. They've got a good driver in Tentea. Imagine what he'd be like if he had Simon Wolf behind him, blasting him off the top in record time. Of course, it's not all Wolf. Francesco Friedrich does his bit as well at the start. 55.62, 7th at the line. Good opener from Mihai Tentea.
Team Tentea from Romania, 7. Rang im Moment.
7th best start as well. It's an indication that he is probably feeling pretty fit at the start of the season. But I do like the way this young man drives. Little rattle there. And here, out of 14, another touch on the wall, a little skid into 15. But not a bad first trip down. Cowbells? Is it the Swiss? How easily led we are. Cedric Follador and Luca Rolli for Switzerland. 16th World Cup 2-man race, 11th as a driver for Follador. Luca Rolli in his 9th 2-man start. Started his career with Mickey Vokes, moved to Simon Friedli. Friedli has retired. Mickey Vokes still training, but recovering from his injury with his crash here last year in training for the race weekend in February. 5:38 getaway. As ever, send our best wishes to Mickey Vogt. Not a bad looking run so far from Cedric Follador, but from the 10th best start, needs to be smooth. Look at that, second best speed into the Kreisel, and a nice exit as well. 10th, 9th, up to 6th on the splits, third best speed. Brilliant looking stuff from Cedric Follador. 9/10 back. And it's not going to be top 3, but it might be 5th. It's 4th at the line, 55.30, dead heat with Marcus Treichel.
5.30 the time for Team Follador.
Well, not a bad start, 5:38. Only a few hundreds behind Austria's Marcus Treichel, who started 5:33. And a good run. Thinking of Michel, okay. They're thinking of their teammates as well. As we get to Hansi Lochner, crashed in training last year, did not race, but has Georg Fleischhauer back behind him. Georg in his 12th two-man World Cup race. They have 10 medals together. 9 gold, 1 silver, including 2 golds in his last 2 races on this track. 5:15 getaway, only 800s behind the super start, the record start of Francesco Friedrich. So how close does Lochner get? 22 hundredths back. He's going to have to outdrive Friedrich superbly now. Best speed, only a whisker quicker than Francesco, 0.2 of a kilometre an hour. 0.03 of a kilometre now slower there. 29 hundredths back. He was reducing the gap, but it has grown now. He will be in second place, 35 hundredths back.
Time in second place currently for Team Lochner Fleischhauer from Germany.
So 35 hundredths back. They're going to need something exceptional to beat Friedrich in the second heat. With Georg Fleischhauer behind him, Johannes Lochner has got massive starts, and these two have so much fun in and out of the sled. And Georg Fleischhauer somehow getting in there. So Germany 1, 2, 3, Friedrich, Lochner, Amour, and Kim Jin-soo, Korea, a tie for 5th, Marcus Treichel and Cedric Follador, ahead of Lee Chun-jan, Patrick Baumgartner, Mihai Tentea, and Frankie Del Duca. Now, what about the Latvians? Whole new look to them this year. New livery, new suits, new sponsors. Jakobs Calendar in his 14th two-man World Cup start. Mads Mikkelsen's brakeman, World Cup two-man race number 54 for him. Calendar DQ'd in the race last year. A weight issue with the sled. Best finish here, a 16th place in January 23. Best two-man World Cup result, 9th place finish. And his last 3 races here, Jakobs, crash, 16th, and DQ. Hasn't been the happiest hunting ground for Jakobs Calendar. 55.35, only 500s behind, tie with Marcus Treichel and Cedric Follador. So that puts him right in the mix. He's only 400s ahead of Lee Chun-jan, 500s ahead of Patrick Baumgartner, Boy, there's going to be a sort out 5 to 10, isn't there? And a good start, 5:25. Not quite matching the Germans, but a nice looking drive. It could well be a top 6 run, as long as they've calculated their weight correctly, obviously. So our second Swiss team, Timo Röhner and rookie Mathieu Herbstberger, making his 2-man World Cup debut here. He's had 3 4-man World Cup starts. Timo Röhner in only his 9th World Cup race. The 27-year-old did 1 World Cup here. Five races in the World Cup in 2018-19, 1 in January 2020, and then both of his remaining races were in January 23, including one of them here. 6th best speed, started 12th fastest, up to 8th quickest. Now, Timo Röhner is a young driver with a very successful family history. Marcel Röhner, one of Switzerland's 90s, noughties greats. We've been waiting for him to really come of age. Maybe this is where he does, 55.39. So he is right in the mix, tied with Lee Chun-jan. 400s behind Jakob Salander, and 900s off the tie for 5th, Marcus Treichel and Cedric Follodor. So he is right in the mix. That is good to see, because we're waiting for that potential to shine, and it looks as though World Cup number 9 might be where he starts to come of age. So, mate Cedric Follodor struggling with a bit of a hip injury, but Follodor in the mix as well. So 15 sleds in, we get to China's Sun Kai-chi. Start draw number 16 for his 16th World Cup race, and another new brakeman. Wei Peng is 21, has 8 4-man World Cup races, has never started a 2-man World Cup until this instant. 5:42 getaway. Well, Sun has his birthday on Monday, he'll be 28. Wei as well has his birthday at the end of the month. Turns 22 on December the 29th. Not a bad looking run so far. Nice and smooth down into the cradle. 7th best speed. Top Chinese sled, Lee Chun-jan is 8th. 10th best speed. Well, they were only the 14th fastest starters. Up to 13th. Could be challenging Frank Del Duca for 12th at the line. How close? 13th, only a few hundreds back from Del Duca, 1100s behind him.
13th place currently for Team Sun.
So 5:42 start. Again, I can imagine the brakeman being just a little nervy, but that was a very uncomfortable 11-12 transition. Don't get away with those very often. Down here at the bottom, 15 into 16, big early pressure. He was a little far left coming off 15. Brad Hall of Great Britain with Big T, Taylor Lawrence behind him, returning to the World Cup. Got one of his 6 silver medals here in January 2023. He and Big T were behind Hansi Locken and Georg Fleischhauer in the first of the 2 races. 5:21, that's an excellent start. Still recovering a little from the back surgery of the previous summer, Brad. But Taylor Lawrence got married in the summer and is in very fine form indeed. And let's see what the British duo can produce. Fourth fastest start, fourth on the splits at the moment. Needs to find speed. Only the sixth fastest sled into the Kreisel. Needs to be very clean and quick at the bottom to hang on to a top four run. Fifth best speed. Still ahead of Kim Jin-soo of Korea at the line. How close to the top three? He's in fourth, 7/10 back, 1500s out of bronze. Applause from coach Graham Richardson.
The time for the first seat of Team Brit Hall from Great Britain.
He is in with a shout of the medals here, putting pressure on Adam and Issam Amour, Brad Hall and Taylor Lawrence. Nice exit in the second half.
We miss you, Mickey. Come back soon.
Yeah, they didn't race here in February, pulled out because they weren't convinced the track was safe after Mickey and Hansi Lochner both had injuries in crashes. Now for Monaco, Boris Vian, he's the man mountain on the right-hand side there, and rookie brakeman Arthur Prévost. Arthur, 26 years of age, making his two-man debut. He's had 4 two-man races and 4 four-man races in his career so far. And this is his first in the World Cup. Long run and not the tidiest of loads. So 5:36 getaway, 12th best. Boris's last World Cup two-man race at the end of the season, after the World Championships, we went to Lake Placid last year. He crashed out of that. This is his first time driving here in Altenberg. 6th World Cup as a driver. It is his 30th overall World Cup start, Boris Vian. 24 appearances as a brakeman. 12th at the start, 14th on the splits, 14th at the line, 55.79. There's the coach Bruno Mijon. He and Max Robert splitting their time between Monaco and France. The teams, that is, rather than their number of homes. They're in bobsled, they don't have a number of homes. I think the only wealthy bobsledder ever in the last 40 years was Prince Albert of Monaco. Well, ran that really long, Arthur Prévost, and then leapt in, the sled going sideways and writhing behind the driver. There's Big Boris. 18 sleds down in our field of 23. Fast 20 go through. So at the moment, everybody's in. This is Austria's second duo, Jakob Mandelbauer and debutante Adam Wiener. The Viennese behind him, 24-year-old rather, in his two-man World Cup debut. He did 1 Europe Cup two-man race in January of this year, and 11 four-man races since December 2023. Bit wavy for Mandelbauer in corner 4. Got it cleanly onto 5. Little bump onto 7. Mandelbauer 19th here in February. This is only his 4th two-man World Cup start. Not a bad looking run. Top 15 speed, 16th at the start, 15th at the moment. So he's going to put Sun Kai-chi behind him. He's going to put Boris Vian behind him as well at the moment. And across the line, 14th. He does put Boris Vian behind him, only by 100, but that's 100. So started 5:42, a little slower than Boris Vath and Artur Prevost. Jakob Mandelbauer and Adam Wiener are 100th in front at the line. So that means Mandelbauer 14th absolutely will get a race. There are 4 sleds remaining. So the bottom 4, Martin Kranz of Liechtenstein and Andrei Turia of Romania, are definitely potential danger zone candidates. Our 20th sled is Tia Variola of Italy with Fabio Batti behind him. Crashed on the second run here in February. 7th place in January 2023, though. Not only his best in Altenberg, but his World Cup best 2-man result. Mattia in his 36th 2-man start. 9 of those, he wasn't watching where he was going. That's not when he was a driver, that's when he was a brakeman. Again, little early wave onto 4, gets off neatly into 5. 10th best start, drifting out a little to 11th on the splits. Oh, drifty down the straight. Where's he going to be? 9th best at the moment. Not getting the 5 speeds off the sled. I think Timo from Swiss Timing will be going to have a look at the transponder after this one. But he is drifting away now, so the speed isn't great. 14th at the line, he was 9th going into the Kreisel. And in the heart of the coach.
From Italy,
Raymond Hart and Simone Bertazzo have been working with the Italians 5 years now, 6 years. So Mattia Variola, Fabio Batti in 14th ahead of Jakob Mandelbauer. And that means that Martin Kranz of Liechtenstein is in the drop zone. That's as close as you get. Andrei Turia crashed on the final day of training in his 2-man sled. The young Romanian, exactly there, just got a little on too late and rolled off. So 20 sleds down, 3 to go. First of whom, Great Britain's Adam Baird and newcomer Austin Millward. So Royal Marine Commando Adam Baird, only his 3rd 2-man World Cup start, and the 23-year-old brakeman, former collegiate American football player, played for San Jose State, but was injured, returned to the UK. He's been a judoka at Bath University, and that's the connection there, because the bobsleigh skeleton push track facility is at the University of Bath. Adam recruited Austin, so making his start here with the British crew. 5:36 getaway, 13th best start, gives him what he needs. 15th at the splits as we get down to the Kreisel. Now, the speed seems to have stopped coming in. A second back, still top 15 run, and 17th place at the moment. Can't afford to losing too much speed. Adam Baird, largely self-funded. There he is, 17th. Sean Olsen on the right-hand side, Olympic bronze medalist, is the development coach for Team GB, working with the boys and also with the female crews. Of course, we'll see women's monobob in action this afternoon. Almost a night rest starting at 4 p.m. Bit of looping height. Just a little late off 14, got a touch there, but he's in the race. 17th at the moment. That means that Michael Kranz of Liechtenstein is out. Martin Kranz, I beg your pardon, of Liechtenstein is out. Of course, I should remember Martin. Jakub Prochaska now for the Czech Republic. Another debutant brakeman, 22-year-old Lukas Petrikovic. Now, he was not expected to be in either. Ladislav Villa was on the entry list when it was first submitted. So Lukas getting a late call-up. 7th World Cup start as a 2-man driver for Prochaska. He's had 4 previous races here, including 2 World Cup starts. Was 18th in the race in February, was 11th in January 2023. And at the moment, off the 7th fastest start with his new brakeman, you can see why they like him to sled. Ooh, drifting away, only the 18th best speed. Little wavy there as well. Late off 9, gets through the transition. Dropping into the danger zone at the moment. It is Andrei Turea of Romania, who is 20th. And at the line, 19th, just in at the moment, is Joachim Prochaska. So Andrei Turea is out, and now 2 sleds from Czech Republic at the bottom of the pile. But Prochaska is in, and he is ahead by 300ths of his teammate Matej Berhenek. Rocking and rolling in 11-12, got away with it. And out of 14, little tap, driver's left, skids over the brow. But it's enough to guarantee him a second heat. Final sled and a third for Romania. Andrei Nica, the 22-year-old youth Olympic champion in 2020, and his 22-year-old brakeman Mihai Kalanseia. Mihai with 22-man races behind him, but this is his first in the World Cup, the first for both of them. 5:52 getaway. So 22nd fastest start. He's going to have to outdrive his start. He was looking a little rocky in training. It is feeling similar. A lot of late exits. Flop there off 9. And at the moment, comes off the Kreisel, 23rd on the splits. So it's no second heat for Andrei Nica, making his World Cup debut here. One of 2 new World Cup drivers for Romania. Fantastic to see. 56.58, he doesn't get in, so Matej Berhenek for Czechia does remain in the race.
Third place for
Andrei Nica, 23rd at the line. Martin Krantz, 22nd. And Andrei Turea for Romania, 21st place, does not get a run either. When we get into women's bobsleigh tomorrow, you will see more evidence of Romania's recruitment drive, with quite a surprise addition to their women's bobsleigh push crew. We'll talk about that tomorrow while we watch what's a little wayward run from Andrei Nica, but the 22-year-old has proved himself, and he is in his first World Cup campaign. So already a youth Olympic champion. So he finishes 23rd at the top of the pile. Possibly not the biggest surprise ever is local hero Francesco Friedrich. He's gone 3 races, 2 seasons without a win here. That may be about to change. A start record with his new brakeman, Simon Wolf. I can't believe how small he makes Francesco Friedrich look. Friedrich is not small, he's 6 foot plus, but Wolf is 6'8". Has he locked the second? December Moore 3rd, 1500s out of the medals. Brad Hall in 4th place, and then a monster log jam from Marcus Treichel and Cedric Follador, basically from 6th down to about 15th. Tiny margins all the way through. Adam Baird 400s ahead of Sun Kai Chi, and then look at the gap at the bottom of the top 20, just 300s between the 2 sleds from Czechia. Now the top 20 will go in reverse order in the second heat to decide our first winner of the World Cup season. We'll be back at 13:30, that is 12:30 Greenwich Mean Time, and that is 07:30 Eastern, and that is in just over 37 minutes from now. Bye for now.
Habt ihr das hingestellt zum Verkauf oder einfach als Dekoration?
So, dann ist es natürlich nicht so, das traditionsgemäß ins zweite Adventswochenende reinzuschicken.
Schon mal hin, weil ich meine, jetzt am nächsten Heat gibt es Siegerehrung. Liga hat gerade Bescheid gesagt.
Nee, das ist Lettland. Das ist? Genau. Eingewickeltes Simony, was ist dahinter? Marokko fährt Kickboxen. Was ist die dahinter? Australien, genau. Und dann da dahinter. Sehr gut. Ganz oben sehe ich hier, aber müssen USA sein. Guck mal, welche da hinten. Dann hier vorne auf der anderen Seite. Hier, da. Und daneben. Kannst du es erkennen? Mit dem weißen Kreuz?
Ja, klar.
Die Nummer kriegt da unten. Die anderen. Aufspielen. So, Lettland haben wir.
Das ist schon die erste Laura-Welle. Das sieht schon recht gar nicht aus. Geht sich gut. Das erste Rennen kann sich sehen lassen, deswegen wir probieren mal eine Laura-Welle. Das ist, ihr müsst jetzt 2000 Leute hier ersetzen. Ich weiß, ihr könnt das. Vielleicht machen wir erstmal eins und drehen uns mal ganz kurz um und schauen uns den größten Adventskalender in Altenberg an, hier an der Bobbahn und oben. Fenster 1, Reach zurück. Das ist